happening.
Man, y'all had me looking crazy last episode. I had ashy knuckles, so a brother got to moisturize.
Oh, okay. Let us know when we're good to go, Diego.
It wasn't nobody looking
It's
at your
live.
hand.
All right, cool. We live. Hey, welcome to Skinny Black's Lounge. My name is Rob, aka Skinny Black. We got a special guest in the house. We got a couple of special guests in the house. One regular guest, one special guest. But we're gonna start. Hey, do we all have the same screen? We're gonna start with my man CT. Introduce yourself.
JT, the period is silent. Hi, mom.
All right. Cam.
Cameo Williams, aka Mr. Spread Love.
All right. Joe Fresh, our special guest.
Joe Fresh coming from you live and direct from the House of Incense, Peppermints, and very strangely happenings.
Joe came in hot. There it is. And as always, we have the Ghost of Lebo chilling with us. Big ups to Ghost of Lebo. So we're gonna get into the proceedings this evening. My man Joe Fresh came in hot. What we want to do right now, before we get with Joe, Cameo, you had a question that you want to lay out to the group, to the people, to anyone that's gonna get on, and yeah, what question did you have that we want to unpack tonight?
Well,
as far as relationships, Cam's corner.
Here's what I want to unpack, and it's a question to the brothers based on all y'all experience. We probably got over 120 years of dating experience as adults, on here tonight. So with that being said, in your experiences, personal and
Joe got that by itself,
and an observation.
Damn.
Do you think women want to be in control?
Do they want to be in control?
Is that what their actions show?
Pretty much.
In relation.
Yeah, I would say except for when they trying to get on that little boat to get them off the Titanic.
I think it said dingy submission.
Right.
Submitting to the dinghy.
What? I'm getting on that boat, right? Joe, I see you.
and there's some layers to the question. I was watching a podcast with Gabrielle Union on it, and she was saying early on in her marriage with Dwayne Wade, they was going 50-50, and she was strong about that. That's what she wanted to do her share, no matter how much money he made, whatever. She said, but now she has a different thing because he has all this money, and it was her trauma that led her to do the 50-50 before. And now she sees that was wrong. And it made me think of control more than trauma. Because my experiences has been, I don't care if they do it nicely, rudely, women do want to be in control until the deal goes bad. Then they're going to blame it on us and say we wasn't in control. But that's a whole nother thing. That's my perspective on it. So I did want to ask you guys that. So that's where that came from.
Oh, okay. Joe Fresh, your thoughts?
I would say he's 100% correct. When it comes to men, we narcissists, they got 1,000 different definitions for, we're toxic. That's the one, and lately I've been hearing, if you don't agree with women, you gay, so it's like there's 1,000 different definitions for a brother. These women say, I need a man to be able to step up and lead me, right? I need a man to be the head of the family, but I want to be the neck because I want to determine which direction we go in. So it's still, I'm gonna let you be a figurehead, but really behind the scenes, I'm gonna be pulling the string. And that seems to be the mindset of of today's woman, and it has nothing to do with age. It's just what it is in our community right now.
Right. And you mentioned something, but so B, before we go to JT, like you mentioned something fresh in terms of like direction and them wanting to control like the direction. And my brother asked Bobby and myself, a question. And so this goes with this. So before we get to JT, I want to add this component. Imagine you and your lady are driving. We know all of our women, as amazing as they can be at times, can be agitated and irritated. And a lot of times we take, what, I'm going to keep the peace. So imagine you're driving. There is no GPS. And you guys come up to a fork in the road. You can go left. You can go right. She says right. You say left. Typically, which way are you guys going to go?
Right.
Okay. Bobby and I also said right. Right.
Yep. Right.
JT, what do you say?
You already know. Keep going.
And so here's where I'm going with it. My brother then gave some accountability to me, as well as Rob.
Yeah, you check.
As leaders have to be courageous, and you have to have courageous conversation. He said, "Cameo, if you're a leader, why wouldn't you just go left?" And I gave him the whole, man, I don't want to argue. We're just gonna go. He said, "You're a leader. It's not about whether you're gonna argue or not." He said, "Because you're really not keeping the peace." He said, "You're really not keeping the peace." He said, "You kind of kick the issue down the hill, but when you get down the damn hill, the issue is still there. So go ahead and just be the leader. And hey, you feel like it's the right way to go left, go left." And so it made me think about that. One, from women, do they want to be in control? But two, our component, right? If you're a leader, and you think this is right, then you go ahead and make that decision. If you say, hey, we rolling left. And so I want to say that before we got to JT, because it was like a two-parter.
I appreciate it, man. I'm just listening. It's a lot of wisdom. You say all these years of failure that we've achieved in the dating market.
Got a big stake in that, boy.
I just want to make sure
Nigga,
I heard
I'm
it
on
right.
clearance now. I didn't fail for the time. I'm on clearance.
So if I get Joe Prime. So is Gabrielle Union, was she saying that she found freedom from trauma by having a nigga pay her bills?
Essentially, was saying that. I mean, you put it that way as only JT can put it, right? She went half initially because so many men had let her down, which was her trauma, right? The disappointments, right? The broken promises. She's just going to go ahead and do this out of trauma, like, I'm going to do this, even though my man can pay it all the way. Now she's saying with newfound maturity, she should not be in, I guess she's healed from the trauma, and now you should just pay it all. So
okay. So let me offer something on both sides of this discussion.
good.
Your ability or your willingness or your action of paying half the bills does not increase or decrease your man's ability to break a promise.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of that, fellas, you're paying 100% of the bills does not increase or decrease your woman's loyalty.
Say that.
It does not increase or decrease your woman's respectfulness. It does not increase or decrease your woman's femininity, contrary to the shit they be selling.
Oof.
Some are selling. So we are sick in this society because we're in love with money. We're not in love with each other.
Say that. Well, I disagree with that. Men are in love with the women.
I think women are in love with status, right? If they can find a shortcut to status, whether it be social media, because every decision they make has to be, they got to get the approval of one of their friends or someone, right? They got to take a picture of their food at dinner and send it to somebody to say, oh yeah, girl, he got you eating, at a 5-star restaurant. We can't even go to White Castle no more and get no more gas bombs. We can't eat those now. We can't go to Red Lobster or Olive Garden, because someone says that's beneath, where a woman or a man that loves you or care about you should really take you, right? So it seems like with us, there's always some type of stipulation, and we look for the shortest path to peace. Women look for the shortest path to be accepted and to be acknowledged.
I think it's difficult to find that person that you can rock with and that rock with you.
Yes.
I think we're in a situation and a time and space where men are more vocal about it, more vocal than we've ever been. Women have always been vocal. The response to the 10% of us being vocal compared to their level is what you said earlier, Joe. Men must hate you. Something wrong with you. But we just saying to you our experience of dealing with you.
Right.
I've heard women's experience of men that didn't have shit to do with me my whole life. I heard about I heard about my homegirls dudes.
Right.
Right.
And I'll be like, I told you not to mess with that nigga. But that we can't talk about that part. Right? Because you only seek wise counsel when you really want wisdom. Most folks are preachers just looking for the choir to sing behind them. So I get it. You don't want to listen to me if I'm telling you to not do what you want to do. So the way I look at it is this is a difficult situation, and it gets more and more difficult the older you get, because it's just like a flight, man. It's a 2-bag maximum. A lot of us carrying around 8-9 pieces of luggage, and we don't want to pay the fee to get on the plane. It's like you can't board with all that. And so that's why you're not going to board this flight to the successful life and relationship. Because you don't want to pay the fee. But your life accumulated all that baggage. Your decisions did that before you met this person. And so as men, we're taught in situations like this, take a knee, deal with it, be a man. There's no such term as woman up.
No, there ain't no such thing as that at all.
So while I'm manning up, I just want to know, like, what you gonna be doing? If I say, yeah, I'm a man up, if your response is, well, I'm keep doing what I'm doing. Well, wait a minute, hold up.
JT,
we both ain't upping.
All you got to do is ask. You go back to that old conversation about the table, and for us, we got to bring 6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack. Your swipe got to be rearranging organs. So all of that shit, and then the woman will look your ass in the face and say, well, all I got to do is bring me.
She's going to be offended if you ask what she's bringing, which is hilarious to me, because in most instances in life, educated people who are trying to ascertain something and have some ambition, we hope, like if you have a business, you hope somebody asks you, hey man, what does your business do? How's it going to help me? People love that moment. Ironically, in a relationship, they're like, nah, like I don't really want to, sell myself. Now, you as a man, you got to sell yourself. But women are like, no, I don't want to do that. The irony of this, and I think JT, and I know we're going to move on, Rob, but I know JT mentioned something. He said it doesn't matter if you pay you're not going to unlock something special if you pay 100% of the bills. Like, you're not.
Right.
The crazy thing is the women have told us that, but they forgot that they told us that. Here's how they told us. Oh, Fresh, you know what, man? Hey, man, man, it's refreshing to go out with you, bro. Like, it's amazing. You're all this and that. Man, I gave my best to these horrible men before. I'm going to say that one more time. I don't want that to go over no heads. I gave my best to so-and-so, and he wasn't SHIT. So wait a minute. So he didn't even need to do nothing right to unlock your greatness. You told me you was great to him. You told me you gave him your best. You told me you did all these amazing things, and he just never quite rose up. He didn't claim you, right? He didn't do nothing special to earn it.
Right.
No choice.
You simply liked him enough and was intrigued enough to give him your best. Not us as men, not our words, their words. I'm sure everybody on this call has heard that from numerous girlfriends, homies, homegirls, right? But something happens when she gets to you as a good man that, you know what, I'm not going to be doing what I used to do. Wait, how the fuck I discount? Wait, what? Like, how I did more to get less, right? He got the Macy's U and I'm getting the Ross version. Like, what's up with that? So I just want to confirm, you know, exactly what JT was saying about there's nothing you can do to unlock it, right? At all. She got something herself.
Well, my question was, because if I remember, the question was, is it control or is it trauma? Is that was the question that you asked?
And maybe it could be some of both, maybe.
Well, I was about to say that oftentimes the control is born out of trauma. Like, it's coming from somewhere. It's a response to some past event. It's a response to some past relationship, some past pain. And now I ain't gonna let it happen like that no more. So I gotta boss up, man up, never woman up, right?
Hey, man,
so that was my perspective.
I've used this example many times. I'm gonna say it one last time, then I'm gonna retire this example and force my creativity to come up with a new one.
Okay.
But let's say, gentlemen, just for the sake of folks that ain't heard it, we hired as the Secret Service, and our woman is the president. Madam President, there's snipers outside. We have warnings. Don't go by the window. You can't tell me what to do. Just because you here to protect me don't mean you own me. I understand, ma'am, but for your safety, there's snipers outside. I've been informed. I'm head of security here. Don't go by the window. I get to make my own decisions. I'm grown. Absolutely, Madam President. You are grown. But I'm just saying, don't go by the window. I told you can't tell me what. And she walked by that window and
and
then the reaction
say it's your fault.
The reaction is, can you believe she got shot?
Yes, I can.
Absolutely, I can, because I warned her ass they were shooting outside.
But it's your fault, bro. You couldn't get it.
Your fault. Boy, how the hell
it's
you
your
get
job.
your job?
Exactly.
If you was man enough to handle her.
That part.
Well, listen, I'm not man enough to handle snakes. I'm not man enough to handle dynamite. I'm not man enough to wrestle bears. I tried with a couple big girls. I'm not man enough for a lot of shit. So I put you in that category. That's fine. With snakes, bears, and dynamite.
I love it.
Got to be some limitations, right, JT? Always.
Come on, man. Stop it.
Come on, man. Cool. Hey, starting off with a bang. I love it.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna roll into my man Joe Fresh. First of all, I want you to introduce yourself, and second of all, I want you to drop a gem. introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. So if anybody out there listening that might be able to be blessed by your talent, your gifts, your skill sets, so let them know how to do that, what you do, what that could be for them, and then drop a jewel, drop a gem on us.
Okay. Well, as Rob, the rest of the cast have said throughout the broadcast so far, I'm Joe Fresh. And what that means to you is I'm internationally known and locally recognized. Um, I, right now, I happen to be the director of compliance for Synchrony Bank. So my job is to make sure any providers that are using our services and our products are doing those in alliance with the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, wing of the government. So compliance and governance, that's what we do. We make sure that everything is done according to government regulations. So that's what I do as my government job. On the side, well, I can do a whole lot of things from shooting dice to chasing mice, so, and I sometimes do that shit twice. But, um, I would say if there's anything you need to know about insurance or real estate, that would be something that falls within my wheelhouse. I've been owning my own real estate business for over 25 years and been successful. Few people in the fraternity I've had an opportunity to work for. It's been my pleasure to help and to serve those individuals. So I'm also a certified financial advisor. So if you have any investment questions, I would probably tell you I've been day trading for about 15, 20 years. I'm up about $460,000 right now. So I would probably say that's a pretty good streak that I'm on with my day trading activities. I'm a firm believer that you got to have more than one avenue of income. And so I try every day to give myself the best advantage that I can. A jewel that I can drop, I would probably say, I mean, it's an old one, but for me, it's a goodie. You know, uh, don't try to impress, people, that you don't know, but always try to impress the man in the mirror. Because the more you know about yourself, the better you can be to your community, your family, and those who come after you. So I always try to look at the mirror as my gaugement of if I'm doing things right, if I'm doing things wrong, regardless. Sometimes I got to look in that mirror and I don't like what I see. I'm like, God damn, I'm taking Ozempic and everything, and I'm still, a big back. What the fuck? So, sometimes I don't see the results I want to see, but I keep trying. I'm gonna keep rolling, so, but what I just would say to you is make your challenges and victories about yourself, right? And not about someone else. Because if you're worried about what somebody else says and their opinion, you will always hesitate, and that might cause you to stumble and miss your greatness. So that's what I'll leave you with.
I love it. I love it. Before we go ahead.
That boy good.
Hey, no doubt. No doubt. But you did say something before we came on live about big
Yes,
back
sir.
season.
Yeah, man. Listen, all the big guys, it's time for us to mount up. It's our season, goddammit. All them little muscle oil, all the motherfuckers pulling all that baby oil on them. Time for them to get out the way. It's big back season. I'm talking about Timberlands. If you got to be 44 and up to get in our fraternity, you know what I'm saying? I need your t-shirts to have stretch marks. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I need
Big
you
back, big back.
when before we came on, I was telling the fellas I know we was entering big back season, because I went up into Jersey Mike's to pick up my sandwich. I got hit on twice. 2 tons of fun. And, you know, I took it as, you know, Joe Fresh is ready for the season of pleasing.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just saying he recession sexy.
Hey, JT, right now I look real good because they look at me, they say, that nigga got a job and he eating every day.
Yeah,
right?
Good.
They know my refrigerator. You know, they know when I open my refrigerator, I don't need no sunglasses. Ain't no light hitting me in the face. I got all kind of shit deflecting light. So you come over here, you got some chips, you got whatever you need, baby. I got you.
Cupboard full of snacks.
What?
All the latest snacks.
2026 snacks.
And all them little dark marks on your body, baby, I got some cocoa butter. We're
Little
gonna get you straight.
Little something.
And on that note, like we always do about this time, suck shit.
Well, I was thinking.
Uh-oh.
I was thinking about famous quotes. We all know a bunch of them. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. Was it like Shakespeare was to be and not to be? And it was either Muhammad Ali or Ike Turner that said float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Mm-hmm.
Or Ike Turner.
Or Ike Turner. I don't remember which one.
I don't think that was Ike, dog.
It might have been Ike.
But I was thinking about one in particular that said that opportunity is when preparation meets practice. And I don't think that's true.
Speak on.
Because I think it depends on what you preparing for and what you practicing. So, for example, let's say you a new parent and you plan on putting your baby in the Gerber baby contest. Remember that back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you taking all these pictures and practicing and preparing your child for the Gerber baby contest. But what you ain't realized is that your baby is ugly. like my boy Kenny Humphrey say, your baby ain't war ready. Don't put that picture up just yet. Let him grow up a little bit more. So you're not gonna ever have that opportunity with Gerber because you preparing and practicing for the wrong event. And it made me think of when women tell me they going on a spiritual journey. And if the journey includes happy hour every night, random penis on girls' trips, and summer R&B festivals in every town, then ain't no way you gonna be ready for the opportunity to meet Mr. Right or the man of your dreams. Because the man of your dreams can't meet the woman of his nightmares. See, the problem is you don't realize how ugly your ass is because you ain't relationship wall ready. You ain't wall ready, niggas. You on some sucker shit.
Facts. Facts.
Yo,
that boy cooking right there. That boy cooking.
Yes. Woo.
What you think, Cream, on that as a follow-up to what JT just kind of threw out there for us to kind of gnaw on for a little bit? I'm just curious as to your thoughts because you've seen a whole lot in your time. And how would you, add to that, or if you got an argument against it? I'm just curious.
Listen, first of all, anytime anybody bring up Kenny Humphrey name, that's a wrap.
That's it. Right. Okay.
That's one of the funniest brothers, one of the most insightful, wise, funny, and his wisdom come through his comedy, his joke. It ain't even comedy to him. He's just naturally funny like that. So that's why him and JT, like, that's why they click. But yeah, I do like that the whole perspective about not being wall ready. You know, you ain't prepared. You ain't listen. In order to be a soldier, you have to go through boot camp, right? So boot camp, they teach you how to make your bed, how to dress. They teach you the information you need to know about whatever service, arm or leg of the armed forces you in. They teach you how to use a weapon. They teach you how to, be in shape. They teach you everything you need to know outside of actually being in a fight, right? They prepare you for it. That's like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. They drill it into you. So I got drill sergeants, drill instructors every day, 24/7. So that 9th week, hey man, after graduation, you ready to get out there and test that thing, right? Because you have drilled on every aspect of being a soldier. Now, the problem is you got folks out here trying to be spouses and ain't drilled on being spouses. Ain't did the research, ain't did the push-ups, ain't did the road work, ain't did the background, ain't did nothing. Just like, I'm gonna show up and feel like there's nothing else I need to do but show up. And that's an issue. That's a problem. And we wonder why and how our communities in the state of where it is when the foundation of our community are families. So how can we build families when our relationships, we can't even get to the point where our relationships can be that nucleus of the family, which is the nuclear family, which, and then we connect families and the families go out to neighborhoods and the neighborhoods come out to communities. And then, that's the whole bottom line. So how can we really and truly be a community when we are at odds with one another and not on the same page as men and women, Black men and women?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, bro, because I think that goes hand in hand with what JT just said, right? It gives you, a perspective from both sides of the lens.
For sure.
So, yeah. But,
for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have a topic, a question of discussion I want to ask you, brothers.
Drop it.
As we start looking at, we're talking about the nucleus of the Black family and how we start to build collectively on that. What are you brothers' thoughts on how do we start to rebuild our Black Wall Street? Is there an avenue for us to do that again? Or have we reached the pinnacle and that's no longer an option for us?
I think it's an option for us if you start initially from the local area and build it from that. When I say the local area, like your region, your local area, maybe we're starting with our fraternities in that way and build it into something greater. So having small pockets that eventually become a big pocket. So it's possible. I think the problem now is everyone's trying to be so getting their own house in order, and however long that takes, that sometimes we're so centrally focused on that, which is great, that I don't think we're looking at the macro picture.
Got you. Well, JT, you're a brother that touches upon so many different people in your line of work from various backgrounds. I mean, do you see that there's an avenue for us to reestablish our Black Wall Street?
There's always an avenue. However, if we're gonna be honest, what we're talking about when you talk about Black Wall Street, when you're talking about having our own communities, and let's define it. Having your own community does not mean a bunch of Black folks live in the neighborhood.
Right.
We're talking about our own businesses,
Yes.
our own ecosystem, where the dollar gets recycled, where we
Right.
build stuff, where we manufacture things and then sell things. You got merchants, you got all kinds of stuff. If you're saying that,
Right.
then I would point to Atlanta because they have that.
Okay.
However, what I would say in terms of on a grand scale, that kind of economic cooperation can't happen because on a small scale, we don't have cooperation.
Right.
Okay.
We are having trouble building a single household. How are we gonna build a skyscraper?
Mm.
And so I you know, we are men, families, and take care of ours, and that's great. But what's the use of that if everything is falling around you? And it's not the same. Like, shoot, man, I done had my ups, my downs, my this, my that. But you get on the other side of it, you're on the plus side of the equation. You're good, right? But there's so many of us that are on the minus side. And we lose sight of it because, you know, like you said, I got mine.
Right.
You know, and it's almost like we quote stats to each other like we proud of them. Like we proud of the other side's failure, man. I get no joy out of seeing the stats of brothers in prison. I get no joy out of seeing how many abortions black women have. I get no joy out of either side struggles.
Let me tap into that because it came. It's so powerful what you said, because I've saw clips of, and I don't know if you guys saw from the Breakfast Club today, where Dame Dash was on again, and the spewing back and forth and clowning of some of Dame Dash's failures was really highlighted. It was like the clowning of a brother that is doing a lot and trying to do it on his own. I'm not saying the dude is perfect, but it goes to what, you know, JT was saying. They start spewing stats and they on this bankruptcy and they on all these things, and I'm like, man, we are on the same side, right? Like, I do want to see this brother succeed, right? I don't know why such a major media platform is focused on another black man's failures, and it's nothing but black people in that room, and that was the central focus of that. And I hate that for us. You know, I hate that for us, because it's almost like, well, I feel like I've arrived and now I'm just gonna throw bombs at the people who are kind of failing. And especially if you had a little success before, we really to dig your grave then if you had some missteps or some misfortunes, or maybe we didn't get to the 407K in the day trading, but we was trying to do it in an honorable way. And I don't like that for us, versus, man, let me game you up, let me help you. I didn't like that for the public to see.
Well, I think and piggybacking on that, though, you got to think at who's pulling the strings in the background,
Which
right?
goes to what JT is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those brothers, I think, at a radio station that's controlled by us, would have had a different perspective on how they looked at that black man and his successes and failures, right? And so, you know, if you are being paid by them, they have to have some say in your message, right? And how you address your guests. They already know what Dame Dash was about when he came on to that show, and how he would highlight the fact that he's his own boss and he's doing his own thing. And so that was not something that it was just a conversation and that came up in the conversation. They often know how they're going to set the agenda for that show. They know how to push their brother's buttons, just as bait as clickbait. That's what it is, right? And so I would even extend it a little further when I go out and I drive around in our communities. We see most of our communities now being eaten up by gentrification.
Facts.
Right. And so when we look at the cycle of what that is doing to us, it's almost no place for us to go. our backs truly are against the wall. Now, I'm going to say something that might not be popular to everybody. I'm kind of grateful for Trump. You know why? Because he is forcing us to take a look at ourselves. I think we got too comfortable in thinking that, education, being able to pick up the phone and make a phone call to a certain brother, something was going to be able to help you out. That might have been in the day, right? But right now in 2025, our backs are up against the wall. And we got, two ways to look at this. As some brothers once told me when I was going through a process, if you ain't a real man, get your ass off the road and let a real man come through. Right. So I'm just saying, in this day and age, either we fight back, either we're victims or we are the victors. And I would rather die on my feet than on my back.
I'll take it from this perspective. I just looked it up just to make sure my data was correct. 7 years after slavery, our people were in the condition of being enslaved. 7 years after 1865, our people had put $3.7 million and by 1872 into the Freedmen's Bank that was set aside, that was built, that was made, set aside for Black folk. $3.7 million in 7 years. These are folk who had came out of, it was against the law to educate them. They could not work they could not make money on their own for the most part. And 7 years of being able to do on their own, do for themselves, $3.7 million. In today's money, that's over $80 million. So I just want us to put that in perspective when we talk about the what Black folk can do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't gonna talk about all the inventions that and the patents, that whole system that really robbed Black folks of wealth. We're not even gonna talk about the land and the lynchings and the terrorism that happened in this country that robbed Black folks of land and wealth. We're not even gonna talk about the businesses that were destroyed. When you talk about Black Wall Street, we're talking about hundreds, probably thousands of cities around this country to where Black folks say, hey, listen, we just want our own thing. We ain't gonna bother nobody. We got our own doctors, nurses, stores, our own transportation, our own entertainment. We got our own stuff and we ain't bothering nobody. And white folk came in and just destroyed it. Those cities are underneath lakes. Those cities are underneath freeways. Those cities are underneath trees, right? And I say this, so we were having, JT and I was actually having a quick conversation about, you said something about Trump. We brought him up, and we talked about the Department of Education cutting all these millions of dollars. JT said it on here before. Hey man, if every Black person supported a system or just an HBCU and just gave $100 a year, we would have to worry about the Department of Education.
Right.
If it was $20 a month that every Black person gave, we would have to worry about the Department of Education. Listen, and I looked this up. There are 4 universities that the Mormons support. BYU in Provo, BYU in Hawaii, BYU in Idaho, and this other university, right? 4, right? And then I trip. So what would happen if we pare down I forget the number. Somebody could look it up. I ain't looking it up right now, but we could pare down the number of HBCUs disconnected from Department of Education. We devise and develop our own curriculum based on what we need, our needs in this society, and then we supported that. Every Black person gave $20 a month, right? We pared that down to, let's say, 10 universities. We got a couple that's medical, focused on medical, a couple that's focused on
And
accounting and finance. We got a couple that's focused on real, what if we did that and then just use the junior colleges to learn skill sets and so I think there's different ways of looking at us as a community. And the last thing I'll say is having a Black agenda, right? Stop worrying about parties, stop worrying about candidates. We need to worry about goals and policies that all of us are going to get by and support. And if you the purple party, if you the whoever party, if you support this, if you the Black party, if you support this agenda, party or person, then we'll rock with you. If you don't, we don't. So I know that was long-winded, but that's
our vote means a strike, Rob. You know the old adage about the hand and the fist, right? Is collectively together, if we are working together as one, we strike a mighty blow, right? One finger can't do anything by itself. Two fingers get a little stronger, and so on and so forth. But once you have that fist and you can ball it up and do your thing, it can strike a mighty blow. And so, like you said, collectively, we have to be on the same agenda and quit just saying you're a Democrat or Republican. That automatically, says we're going to get behind you, whatever your policies are, because we have the option to pick and choose independent.
Yes.
Right. And so if we get an independent candidate that we like, that is going to meet our agenda and put policies out there to protect our children, our families, and our businesses, then we need to start looking at that as another option.
Forget the candidate. We put the policies together. We tell people this is what we gonna support. This is where our vote gonna follow.
Right.
So I don't care who party or candidate is. The candidate don't determine that. We determine that.
Right.
That's
what
I'm saying.
I want to tap into something that Fresh said and that you said, Rob, and I think one of the underlying things of why we are not as successful as we need to be, going back to the whole Black Wall Street, can this happen, so forth. And Fresh, you mentioned like one of the good things about Trump is making us look at ourselves even more. Not that that was his intention, right? But it's making us look at ourselves more and what are we going to do and so forth. I'm with you there. Rob, you mentioned, hey man, 1872, we got 3.7 million in this bank. Those people came together. They're putting it in this one place. I think it's great. I think that the horror of what happened to us before, it brought the people together back then.
Lost Cam.
Yeah, we lost him, Cam. He had to come back and finish his thoughts. I look at collectively, because I look at what happens like in a Leimert Park, that we, continue to pour into that particular neighborhood. They've been able to gentrify everything around it, right? But don't think that they're not going to keep pounding on the walls until they eventually get that too.
It kicked me out.
There you go, brother. Go ahead with your thoughts.
But there is a lack of faith and belief in us. And we're scared to say there's a lack of faith and belief in us as a people, right? We will believe the others before we will believe our brothers. That 3.7, they had some blind faith. Ain't no phones, ain't no emails, ain't no texting, ain't no social media. And they were able to galvanize the troops and get 3.7 million in this bank. We have all these tools. We got smartphones and dumb people that don't trust each other. We can't get 3.7 now in one place. And I think, so ultimately, what do we have to do as a people to get our faith and belief in one another again? I'm talking at the very essence and core here. Before we can have some policies, we got to be some people. Rob, I believe in you. Fresh, I believe in you. Well, now we got 100x that, each one of us, and then that person got 100x that. So now we can, how do we do that? Because if we ain't got that faith, then we're going back and drilling it down to, man, I just got to make sure I got mine. You know what I'm saying? I just got to make sure I got mine and kind of ride it out. And I think that's the underlying piece that's really missing from a collective standpoint. I think that's something that has to be addressed, and I don't know how we address it.
Well, I hear y'all. We got a couple issues. They say that baseball is America's pastime. Well, I submit to you that niggas' pastime is stunting on each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, if not our favorite thing ever to do is tell a motherfucker he ain't got it. A woman look at, oh, you broke. 9 out of 10 people in your family is broke. And so am mine. Why are we studying on each other? We need to get that number down to 6 or 7 as quick as possible. You know, well, we gonna choose what divides us instead of what unites us. A model of economic possibility is right in the Nation of Islam. But most black folks is Christians, so we not gonna mess with them Muslims like it got 2 O's in it.
Right. And a Z.
You know, but forget the religion aspect of it. What about the businesses? Yeah. What about how they bring back brothers from damn near the dead? What about their whole economic system they have, which includes farming, which includes bakeries? You know, it's more than just brothers selling the final call and a bow tie, right? They have training for leadership. They have history and religious training. They have hygiene. Mm-hmm. They have women's classes. They have men's classes.
Martial arts.
Right? They exactly self-defense. So it's an entire ecosystem that you can look at. You can pick and choose and say, okay, we can build a model over here like that. Right? You don't have to, you know, subscribe to any religious belief. And here's the crazy thing. If you really get to know them, the last thing they're going to push on you is religion.
Yep.
But we focus on what divides us.
Right.
I've been blessed in my life to be around some great brothers that build me up, and they forgive my obvious shortcomings. But I know that I live the exception in life and not the rule.
Mm-hmm.
And most brothers don't get the support. Most brothers don't get the pats on the back. Most brothers don't get to like, okay, you had to take a knee on this one. Let me help you, dog. I know you capable. You're gonna get back on your feet. You know, they hear if they fail, I knew your ass couldn't do it.
Right.
And to bring it all the way back around when you was talking about that interview with Dame Dash, this has nothing to do with the Breakfast Club. This has more to do with the viewers.
Yes.
It's safe on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You watch somebody do a wheelie down the street and they fall, it's easy to laugh and talk shit because you wasn't on that wheel trying to balance it. It's safe on the porch.
Yeah.
But while we sitting on the porch, everything's going by us.
Right.
And then we looking for the people that have taken risks, that have done things or that own things, even if it's fair or unfair. Well, why don't you give back and help us out? So they throw a couple crumbs on the porch and we stay there. So if we can't fix that, we're not going to fix nothing. My grandfather, God bless his soul, used to say it's a lot of black folks think white man's ice is colder.
Real talk.
We walking around with full glasses, homie.
Right.
Real talk. And one other piece that I think is key, where near and dear to our hearts, is just the rites of passage piece. How do we put a structure to the things that our children need to be functioning Black adults in this society? Not just adults, because our experiences are unique. But understand that you're Black and there's something different in how people treat you and see you. And that's fine. That doesn't take away from, you just need to be aware. But what are the rites of passage that our young men and women, but we have to put a structure together to say, these are the 5 things that our young boys need to know and the skill sets they need to have in order to go into life and be men. These are the 5 things our young girls need to know and go into life to be women. And if we could do that, I think that's a key part, because now they know the expectation when they go out. They know the expectation when they choose a major. They know the expectation when they think about putting a business together. So, I think that's all of it's holistic. I don't think you do it linearly. I think it's holistic, and you do all these parts at the same time. But that's what I wanted to add with the rites of passage piece.
I knew you was smart, man. That dude right there, he said holistic. I thought that was the name of a badass stripper.
Right.
And then
made me want to go pour a cup of tea or some shit.
He said, "Boy, not coming to the stage, holistic."
Hey, put your hands together for holistic.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh man. Oh, so Joe Press, what you got on it, man? So did that help answer your question? Did that give you some good some angles and perspectives on that thing?
It gave me some good angles and perspectives, man. It's good, to be, on a podcast like this with forward thinking brothers, because we're not just talking about it, we live in it, right? We are in the moment. And so, it's that adage where you have to say each one teach one is really true, right? To JT's statement about we so worried about what somebody think and how the quickest way to tear somebody down, I think we should look at how the Asians do it, right? I was in Thailand not too long ago, and man, they libraries go to 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and they 7-8 stories, and they go to, I mean, the whole building is full, and these people are acquiring knowledge, and everywhere you look around, there's focus groups helping and teaching each other, how to be better. And I think that's why they leaders at technology and all the other good things they do. But a lot of the smart minds didn't come out of Asia. They were homegrown here. And a lot of those smart people look like us, right? If you look at a lot of the inventions in this world now that the world uses in a high capacity, it's usually a black face behind it. So I just think our creativity and everything has been smothered out, and we need to get back to supporting each other and getting to a place where it's okay to be able to fail. Because if you do, you got somebody gonna pick you up, dust you off, and help you get back on the horse. Like JT said, it's easy to talk shit from the porch. That's Mike Tyson say, it's easy to talk shit till you get punched in the face.
Everybody got a plan till they get punched.
Right. So I mean, that's just real talk and how it is now, nowadays. But I do think these kind of conversations stir the narrative that if we can at least start talking. We might not be able to solve the problems today, but at least we putting it out there to give us something to think about, and it gives us a starting place, and as we start to take the message from tonight and move it into other conversations with brothers and sisters, that's how you get the ball rolling, right? And some people gonna listen and some not. And we just have to be ready for that, because, the thing most people have to understand is this, fellas, the most dangerous thing in the world to me is knowledge, right? Because once you know something, you can't unknow it, right? But it's also one of the best things you can have, because it's the only thing that you can give away and keep for yourself.
Like that.
So yeah, and a lot of us need to understand it's okay to be able to tell your brother how to get better. It don't stop Rob from doing his thing, right? It don't stop Cameo from doing his thing. That gatekeeping shit between us is what's killing us, bro. So again, I just think the more we give it to each other, the better off we're gonna be in the future. Until we can get to that point, you know, these Trumpnomics about to be a motherfucker. It's coming up soon.
Well, let me add a layer, and I'm gonna go to you, Cam. It look like you want to hop in, double
Right.
dutch style.
I got to get ready.
I'm gonna make it quick. So I what has to happen in these conversations is the conversation has to be rooted and grounded in the value of what we're talking about, right?
Mhm.
So what's the value of, like you use the example of libraries? What's the value of libraries and their culture to those folks? What's the value of us being able to control our own curriculum in the university setting? What's the value of us pulling our money together and investing together? So I think we don't talk enough. We say we should do this and we should do that. What's the value of having a Black agenda to where we can control, have some sort of control around policy and the thing that we support? We say, and we talk ad nauseum about what we should do, but at what point, at some point, we have to take a step back and have the conversations about every one of these pieces. What's the value? What do we get out of it? What's in it for us if we do it this way? And talk about the pros and cons.
Well,
so go ahead, Cam.
You made me think about when we say what's the value in having a Black agenda, is the challenge we have now is even people who are say they're for the cause and rock and are Black, and I'm not sure they're for the Black agenda. Right? I'm not even sure good Black people are for the Black agenda. I'll tell you in one piece, because we're going a lot about education. I meet a lot of Black people who have nothing to do with Catholic anything. They don't go to a Catholic church. They may be Christian. That is not their thing. But let me tell you what a lot of affluent Black people do with their
Sarah, St. Bernard's.
They're sending at private school.
Bishop Montgomery.
It don't matter how
That's true.
It doesn't matter what the diocese has done. It is, they feel there's some
Loyola.
Status, right? For real, they feel there's some status there. And so,
Yes.
well, that says something to me. I mean, strongly. I don't care if you're in LA, if you're in the Bay, people think there's some status to send their kids to a private Catholic school, thus pouring money into that versus even just an independent Black school. They're not going to do it. And so when we say there's a Black agenda, I think there's the idea of a Black agenda, what we think it is, and what a lot of people who are affluent Black people, I'm talking to them who can really start making the needle move, they prefer to send their kids elsewhere, primarily to a Catholic private school. And I think that says something.
Well, we gotta have the conversation. We gotta say, what's the gap between thinking it and doing it? How do we close it?
Yes.
That's a real conversation need to be had sooner rather than later.
Sure.
Right.
Yesterday.
Yeah. But yesterday. I agree, brother.
Have a segment on that next week so we can have some, if we can come back with some stuff.
Yeah, Joe. Hey, you dropped some on us, man. Tonight, you made us. We usually don't even tap into politics like that, man. And I think we really didn't, but we did. You know what I'm saying? Politics is about resources and you know, unlimited wants for limited resources. So I think we did talk about that, and I think that was a great question, brother.
Yes, sir. I just wanted us.
All right, take care, Cam.
I just wanted us to focus on the fact that we greater than what the world gives us credit for. That's all.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
All right, brothers.
CT.
What's up,
what
Doc?
you got for us? We, you know, any closing words,
yeah,
thoughts,
man. You know, I thought a couple things, man, based on the conversation, some based on that. So I want to add to the rules for life.
Oh yes.
I want to add to the rules for life, and the first one had to do with what you said, Joe, about Trump and how even though we look at this a certain way, it's actually a good thing. This is a rule for life. Okay, I became a better husband after my ex-wife's second divorce.
Pretty much.
Mm.
Pretty much.
Another rule for life.
I hope people let that sink in and think about it.
That
No,
got
I
to
ain't even going.
that got to marinate.
I ain't even going to explain it. I'm gonna let them think about it.
Yeah.
The second rule for life is if you think you're a leader and nobody is following you, you just a motherfucker taking a walk.
Right.
Bingo.
Shit.
And the last rule for life is something we actually talked about it today at work. Going to work every day and giving a full effort is hard. But the life you have to live when you don't work is even harder.
Yes, sir.
And you know that's right.
Yes, sir. I love it. Thank you, Jay. Joe, yeah. Well, let me say this. Let me say
Yes,
big
sir.
ups to everybody. Big ups to Joe. Big ups to JT. Big up to Cam. Big up to Dio behind the boards on the ones and twos. Big ups to Tally and Twine watches. Get yours.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll have a link down there.
I got
we're
one for
affiliate.
sale if somebody need one.
He got an alley and wine.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
I'm the true hustle man.
True hustle, man.
Listen, mine is brand new in the box with the Crimson McCree band. I don't know, somehow I ordered 2 of them. So yes, sir, just like that, Rob. I got that for sale. I'm gonna let it go for 100.
Hey, that's a great price.
I paid
Get on it.
160 for it.
Yeah, get on it. That's a great price.
You better come and holler. So
let me say big ups to of course the gathering spot always, as always, and big ups to all of you who tuned in, like, share, subscribe. Whenever you see this, drop a comment. We'll see the comments. If there are topics you want us to cover, drop that in there too. And before we sign off, Joe Fresh, you got the last word.
all right, brother. I was gonna say, as we go to sleep tonight and we nestle into our bed and look forward, to another day.
We nestling.
We nestling, brother. And I got that off of one of my old Christmas movies. I think it was Santa Claus Come to Town. Hey, you borrow from what you know, brother. Borrow from what you know. I wasn't big on Frosty the Snowman or the Heat Miser, none of that shit, but I nestled in the bed at night.
Yes,
based
sir.
on the Christmas movies. And what I was just gonna say, man, we go to sleep at night and we get to a place where we gone on and shut it down. We got to forget about what happened today, right? Because you can't do shit about it now. It's in the past. If you think about that old saying, that's why a car front windshield is bigger than your rearview mirror, right? Because what was in your past is meant to be in your past, and you should leave it there, right? You can't do nothing about that. But when you get up in the morning and the Lord blesses you, with another 24, make the best of it. But if you fuck around in TikTok all day, watch Jerry Springer and all them, yeah, you're gonna help their ratings and your show gonna be on for the next week or two. But as JT said, your pockets, your cupboards are gonna be dry, right? So any man, black, white, or otherwise, should never expect to just be handed something, right? Our greatest gift is to be able to go out and create something, to be able to add to our destiny. And that is what our women should be getting behind. Not how much money you got, not necessarily, how tall you are or that shit, but to be able to say, baby, we better together than we are apart.
Oof.
Right. And so when we can get to that point, I mean, if you think about it, why did God commanded that they would go and get 2 of every animal and everything living and put it on Noah's Ark. Everything is better in 2s, right? And so when you look at life from that standpoint and trying to make a go at it as a solo artist, is hard. I'm sorry. You know, I like Ralph Tresvant and Bobby Brown, but New Editions is shit. Right? Together, they better as a group than they are as individuals. And that's all I'm trying to say. Now, women might get mad, but it's good to have, no woman can be an alpha, in my opinion. That is energy that is reserved for a man, right? But yeah, alpha and beta waves work together. And if you look at what keeps a person alive, it's the alpha and the beta waves working together. And so I think once we start to look at each other and say we're more of an asset than a liability, we can then start taking the steps forward to regain our future and the promise that God has left us with when we became, students and citizens of this world. I'll leave you with that. That's my word. I'm sticking to it. Oh boy.
Ashe. There
Oh
it is.
boy. Yes, sir.
And that's a wrap. All right, Dio, cut us off, man.